Hello, my name is Mitzi and I'm a clinic instructor with the Certified Horsemanship Association. We're here to do an educational safety video concerning double lunging. Every horse, as an instructor that you're using, needs to be safe for their student and sound. Soundness also means strength, suppleness, and balance. I found that double lunging helps with all of these things. Helping me is Robin, who is a student here at MSTU, and this is Webb, who is a purebred Arabian. And I've already introduced myself to Webb. It's important to get the trust of a horse and get the horse to know you before you start working with him. So I'm using something called a wand. It's a team wand, and the first thing I want to do is see how sensitive that Webb is and how he accepts me and accepts my touch. And if you'll notice, there's a technique to this. So I want to get into his body and just stroke him. Now, Webb is allowed to respond a little bit negatively to this. The only thing he's not allowed to do would be something like cow kick at me. So I'm going to do this very, very quickly on his other side, going very, very close to his body. As I pass behind, you can see Robin is on the other side. So this is going very well. Be very careful when you're doing their belly and the front part of their legs. So even though I've been told that Webb has done some ground driving, I'm not going to take anything for granted. So Robin's going to stay on this side, and I'm just going to go over Webb with these lines, and I'm also going to go around his front legs. And what I'm going to do is hind legs. Robin already knows to turn his head a little bit toward me, and I want people that feel experienced. You can tell that Webb is not traumatized. Now you'll notice that I'm wearing gloves. I think everybody should use gloves when they're working with a horse on the ground. I also have a lunge line that I like very much. It's flat and it's a rope. It doesn't burn the skin. So I'm going to put the other line on the other side of his halter. Good boy. And the first thing is that we have to desensitize and let Webb get used to pressure on the outside of his body from a rope. Now the reason for the double lunging, if you have a horse that's already trained, it helps the horse get stronger, more balanced, more supple, which is going to help your students. If you get a horse that's difficult, I find that this is a very good way to control the whole horse's body with just 2 soft reins. Okay, so we're going to walk on. We'll go in just a big circle here. Walk on. And when I say and ho, you'll stop him and pull back. And ho. So I do use positive reinforcement. I'm touching his side, Robin. And walk on, and you can help him. Touching his haunches. And ho. Now, I believe in using your voice. I believe that's one of the 4 natural aids, and I think it's important for the horse. And on all downward transitions, I use the word and. It's like a half halt. The horse knows ahead of time that something's going to happen, that he's going to rebalance himself. Look on, good boy. And she just had him go to the side to get him off balance. And whoo. So this next part is you have to be very, very careful, because this is where some horses, especially if they've been almost overtrained to give to pressure, when they feel pressure on the outside of their haunches, they're going to swing around this way. Okay, go ahead, Robin, come a little closer to his face. Good boy. And whoo. And now I'm going to come all the way this way and walk on. So now I feel comfortable putting the outside line, and if I had a saddle on him, that would be fine. Once you put this outside line and fix this outside line, then if something does happen, it's going to stay on the horse a little more readily. So I always wait until I'm sure of the horse. This helps keep the line above the hocks. and it helps keep the line stable so that it doesn't go under the horse's tail. Always have it in a sort of loop so that you could let it go when you needed to. So we're going to walk on again, Robin, and walk on. Good boy. Now, when you're learning this, it might feel a little bit funny at first, it might feel a little bit difficult at first because it's like riding. Walk on. Sometimes you'll have less on the inside rein, sometimes you'll have less on the outside rein. When you're starting out with this, it's quite common for the horse to be slightly counterbent because you do have to use the outside line a bit to keep him out. This will change when you keep working on double lunging your horse. Walk on. He will start to bend at the rib cage and bend and walk on the way you want him to. But you have more control over doing half halts. I have the whip behind me unless I need it. I'm not in one position and expecting him at this point to go around me in a perfect circle because he's just learning this. I don't want it to make it difficult for him. Good boy. And if he does that by mistake, that's okay. And walk. But the position he has right now when he came from trot to walk, that's the position we want more than this tucked in, crunched position when he's not stretching through his, there we go. So we want the head and the neck moving. We want the neck telescoping. And again, I'm kind of fast forwarding because this horse is very good. My left hand is up a little bit to encourage him to come up through his forehand, good, and to lengthen through his neck. So I think as you're watching this video, he's a beautiful horse. He's got a nice rhythmic trot. But there he goes. Now this is more what I want because at first he wasn't really tucking. He wasn't putting himself in a position where you think, oh, he almost looks like he's on the bit. He wasn't pushing through his haunches. He wasn't moving through his back. Now I've got a horse that's starting to move, and I hope you can see this on the video. And walk. He can take his time. Good boy. So, just to wrap up, when I ask him to walk, I want the walk to stop. I want the down transition to stop at his haunches. When he goes into an up transition, I want it to start at the haunches. In double lunging, you have much more control over that than you do in regular lungings. One more thing. Notice my position when I'm lunging. It's very important. I'm just about opposite the surf single. This hand should be in about the same position that it would be if I were riding, the same amount of contact. This hand can give and take if we're going on a circle and he says, I can't let my haunches follow my forehand yet, that's too small, then I can give. When I put him into a downward transition, my body slows down. Wonderful walk. And hoo. If I do this consistently, not only is this horse going to become more balanced, stronger, more supple, safer for my students, more of a trained horse for my students to ride, but also the verbal commands, and he's more aware of my body. As I said, you can use it on a well-trained horse like he is, but even with that, there were little things that I'd improve in his motion and his movement, which would make him a better school horse. I'm controlling this whole horse with 2 soft lines. And I can control his mind. I can get him to be receptive to me without using negative reinforcement. So this is a skill that I think people should think about. So if you'll notice, today we only went to the left. We want to make each training session successful for a horse and easy on a horse because we want to use as much positive reinforcement as possible. But going to the left is usually a little bit easier for the horse, it can end on a more positive note. So once he's comfortable going to the left, probably the next session, because this horse was so good, that I would start him out at least walking to the right. And again, I'm Mitzi Summers, a clinic instructor with CHA, and this was an educational and safety video. Thank you.